Hey, if you've been watching some of our V-Elevator videos, you've noticed that we get a little crazy sometimes. But I was looking at the paper today, and I want to address this in a little bit different way. This is about the recent remarks from Harry Reid, my favorite vampire, if you've seen any of the videos. But he slipped up the other day and said the things he said about Obama being a good candidate because he was light-skinned, and he didn't speak with an accent unless he wanted to. That's always sort of bothered me when he goes and talks to the Union or Acorn and puts on that talk. But be as it may, he said that, and I thought it was even worse what Clinton said. He was talking to Kennedy back when during the campaign and said, hey, in past years, this guy would have been serving me coffee. Now, according to the Democrats, these are not racist remarks, or these people aren't racist. And actually, I think there might be racist remarks and insulting, but I don't believe these people are necessarily racist. They slipped up and said some things. Clinton does it all the time. Obama, I mean, he certainly hasn't been a racist since the beer summit. He used to have a little problem with cops arresting black people. But be as it may, he cleared that up over the beer summit. You know, I remember back at that time, I wished he had maybe gotten that word out, because my son was driving along one day, and he doesn't have much hair. He works construction. He's a wrestler, going into the Army, and drives a truck. And a lady of color pulls up next to him and says, "You skinhead," and takes off. I thought that was a little racist. Actually, my son took it with a grain of salt, and I said, "What did you think?" And he said, "I'll go fight for her right to have free speech too." It's actually a little more mature than I was at the time. Anyway, looking at this subject, today in the paper, there was a poll that blacks are more upbeat these days. And it was interesting because it's about Obama. They credit his election with the surge in optimism in the black community, though 15.6% of African Americans are unemployed. When you get down into the lower ages, 16 to 19, it goes up to 49.4% are unemployed. But yet they're still optimistic, and 53% of African Americans said life is better now than it used to be. And even whites also noted the progress. So I think we're making some headway there. But then I was reading a local paper from Denver, Colorado, and in the Denver school system, they tried to honor Martin Luther King coming up. And by the way, it's a predominantly black school system. And so they were going to serve Southern fried chicken and collard greens in honor of Martin Luther King. And people, this lady here that, I'm not going to give her name, but she's the director of teaching tolerance. Whoa. Director of Teaching Tolerance, and she was instantly upset when she saw this. Other people, the school board president, actually, she wanted an apology. He came back and said something I thought was pretty good. I don't think people woke up in the morning and said, how do we offend people? He said, the outcomes of districts are more offensive to me than someone trying to do the right thing and being slightly offensive. I agree with him. I don't think these people were trying to be racist. And as a matter of fact, the way I look at that is possibly they weren't thinking race at all. They were just trying to honor Martin Luther King. Most of us don't think race at all. We don't go there. There's a small fringe minority that does that, and we're not gonna solve them. But you know, I want to bring one other point. All this stuff about Reid and Clinton, everything that's been going on, it's a distraction. There are important things going on. There are bills being passed. They're taking over our economy. They're redistributing wealth. Let's not worry about what color the person is doing it, but the fact that it's being done. So let's pay attention this year. Let's vote some of these people out, and I don't care what color they are. And let's vote in some other people that might have actually read the Constitution they swore to uphold. Just a thought, this year, 2010. Black coffee.